Welcome back. In the last video, we learned about abstraction, hiding complexity. Today, we'll cover encapsulation, another essential pillar of object-oriented programming. This concept helps you protect your data and control how it's accessed or modified. So let's dive in. Now, the first question is, what is encapsulation? Encapsulation means wrapping the data, means variables, and the code methods that works on the data into a single unit, usually a class, and restricting direct access to some of the object's components. Let's have a real-life example. Think of a bank ATM. So we have an ATM. There you press buttons, but you can't access the internal wires or money box that is protected. So the buttons are the interface of the ATM. The system controls how much you can withdraw based on your balance. That's encapsulation. You interact with what you are allowed to. The rest is safely hidden. So in Python, when we talk about encapsulation, Python uses convention-based visibility. So there are three types of visibility. First, we have public, the default one, and the public data or variables can be accessed from anywhere. Then we have underscore protected. So the type is protected, but we write with underscore. That's why I'm calling underscore protected. So it shouldn't be accessed outside by convention. You can access it. It is a developer convention. Then there is private type, which we write by underscore underscore. So double underscore private. So name mangling makes it hard to access directly. Now let's take some examples. First of all, let's think we have a class called student, and there we have this constructor dash init, and we expect another parameter which is name, and here we can say that self.name equal name. Now if you look closely, when we say self.name, this name does not have any underscore before it, not single underscore or not even double underscore. So as we don't have any underscore before this property, that's why it is public, means it is by default public. So this can be accessed from anywhere. So for example, if I create an object s equal, and if I use the student class, and let's pass here Gojo, then if I try to print the name of the student, so s dot name. Okay, so here as name is public, we can access that without any issue, so it is okay. If I run the code, you'll see it prints Gojo. So here name is public and anyone can access or change it directly. But if I add here one underscore, then as you can see, it warns us with yellow squiggly lines. So this becomes protected. So the name variable or name data is now protected. Now you can access as.name. So it is allowed, but discouraged outside the class. So developers are discouraged using this approach outside the class. It's just a convention. If I run the code, you will see that it says allowed but discouraged outside the class. Okay, so we are seeing this error because we haven't added the underscore here. Now if I run the code, you will see it prints Gojo, but still you will see that the statement has some light yellow squiggly lines. That means we are allowed to run this code, but it is not recommended or discouraged for the developers to use this approach. Okay, because Python treats this as protected. It's still accessible, but you are telling others to not access it directly. Now before name, if I give two underscores, then it becomes private. Now you can see the yellow squiggly lines is now more yellowish. So even if I add the second underscore here, means the two underscores, you'll see that this is showing more yellowish warning. This means Python will not allow us to do this. If I try to run this code, you will see it throws error. But there is a concept called name mangling. So name mangling, by which we can access this. So let's see what is name mangling. Let me delete this comment. So for name mangling, we write the object name. So here the object name is S. Okay. Then we write underscore class. So the class name here is student. So we give the underscore sign. Then we write the class name of the object, student. Then we give that private data or private variable. So underscore underscore name. Now if I run the code, you see that it prints Gojo. So only name mangling allow us to access private data. Otherwise you can't access private data or private variables. So name mangling allows access. And what is name mangling? We write the object. So object name, for example, in this case S. If you give here S1, then S1 would be the object name. So object, then we give a dot, then we give underscore, then the class name. Class name, in this case the class name is student. Then we give two more underscore and we give the variable name. In this case the variable name is name. So var name. So if we consider with respect to this example, then finally we get s dot underscore student underscore underscore name. Now let me comment this and show you another example. So we can access them with controlled access using getters and setters method. So let's see how to do that. First of all, let's assume we have a class called bank account. Then we have this constructor and we have this balance parameter, and here we have a private data. So the balance is private, so we write self dot underscore underscore balance equal balance, this one. Okay, after writing the constructor, let's write another function. So def deposit, and we accept the amount parameter here, and we check if amount is greater than 0, then we want to do self dot underscore underscore balance plus equal the deposit amount. Then let's say we have another method, so def withdraw, and there also we will have this amount parameter. So we want to know how much amount the user want to withdraw, and inside this method we want to check if 0 less than amount, then less equal self dot underscore underscore balance. If that is the case, so we are checking user should try to withdraw the amount which is greater than 0, and that should be less than his balance. So he can't withdraw any amount that is not present in his account. Then if that is the case, we do self dot underscore underscore balance minus equal amount, and we reduce the amount from his account because he is withdrawing that. Else we just print that invalid withdrawal. Now lastly we need another method, so def get balance, and here we just return self dot underscore underscore balance. So our bank account class is done. Now let's create an object. So the object name would be account, and we use the bank account class, and for the balance initially we give $1000. Then we can do some deposits, as you can see. So we write here account dot deposit $500. Then we can do some withdraw actions. So account dot withdraw $200. Then we write the print statement, and here we write account dot get balance. Now if I run the code, you'll see it prints 1300. So again, here as we have this underscore underscore balance, this means this data is private. and this deposit and withdraw methods provide controlled access. You can't access __ balance directly, so this protects the data. As you can see, we are getting the balance using this method, which is get balance. But if you just try to print account dot __ balance, this will throw an error. As you can see, it throws error. Instead of accessing directly, we access that using the getter function here, and we change that using these setter functions. So as you can see, we are setting some updated data there. So we get some controlled access using getters and setters method. Now here some common beginner questions. First of all, they ask, can I still access private variables? Yes, you can access using this name mangling, like this example. As you can see here, the example. Then you can ask that why use encapsulation in small scripts? So the answer would be, it builds good habits and prevents bugs as your app grows. Now you can ask, is Python strict about private data? Not really. It's convention based, not enforced like Java. So as you can see, still we can access with name mangling. Now you can ask that should I always use get and set methods? The answer would be only when you need control or validation over how data is used, then you can use these methods. Okay, so it's practice time. So let me comment this code. So this whole code. So the task here is create a class called employee, which has a private attribute, means variable, __ salary, and add some methods to get and set the salary. So method to add to get and set the salary. Keep in mind that when setting salary, don't allow negative values. Now pause the video and try to implement this on your own. Have you done that? If yes, then it is amazing. If you couldn't do that, don't worry, we're gonna do that together. First, let me run this code to remove the error. Now let's complete this task. First of all, let's create this class called employee, and there we have this constructor, and we allow name and salary. You can omit name as we don't said before to add name, but let's have a name. Then in the constructor we can say self.name, so it is a public attribute. So self.name equal name. Then we write self.__ salary equal salary. So this is private. Now let's create another method. So def get salary. So this is the getter, and here we just return self.__ salary. Okay, as we can't access object.__ salary, we use this getter. Now let's define a setter function as well. So def set salary, and here we have to check that the amount should not be negative. So here we have this amount parameter. Then inside the method we say if amount is greater than 0. If that is the case, then we say self.__ salary equal the amount. Else we write print invalid salary. Okay, so the class is done. Let me minimize the terminal a little bit. Now let's create some object. So the object name is E, for example. Then let's use that employee class, and the employee name is, let's say, Satoru, and his salary is 12,000. Now here we can just write the print statement and e.getSalary. So now if I run the code, you'll see it gives the salary of Satoru. So we used the getter function. Now let's update his salary using the setter. So we write e.setSalary 35,000. Then again we write the print statement and we write e.getSalary to get the updated salary. If I run the code, You can see first it prints 12,000 here, but when we update the salary, it prints 35,000. Now if you do e.set salary, and if you give here minus 1000, as we are doing this validation, which is amount should be greater than 0, if I run the code, you will see that invalid salary, which is this one. So great job understanding encapsulation. It's your tool to make sure the right data is accessed the right way. In the next video, we'll tackle polymorphism, how a single function can work in different ways. So stay tuned and subscribe for more beginner-friendly Python videos.